What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement, I've reached out directly and directly, or the team, not me. The team has reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And we're speaking by the end of this year, since 2025 is coming up right quick. Or the early 2026, I'll be able to say it's 500,000. So as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And you are watching Primetime Saturday with Aisha and LaLa. And we haven't been on for 2 weeks, and I yelled at them in a nice way before we went live, saying, I don't like it when they don't come on for a week, but they have to have lives. So I don't rule them. At best of times, I can only rule myself. That's at the best of times, but I am so jacked up to have them back on. So you know what? Why wait? Let's make it happen. Hello. What's going on?
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? How we doing?
Good.
Nice. I haven't seen y'all on a screen for a few weeks, but great to have you back. What's been going on?
Good to be back. I ate it. I ate it just as much. I really enjoy coming on and sharing what we know.
Yeah. So, Aisha, I've got you do some homework in the next few weeks. Can you find out when we celebrate our next anniversary for Primetime Saturday?
Oh.
Okay, good. I know you. I'm not asking you to do that right now, but I want to have a wonderful celebration for our next anniversary. And also, I forgot to do this. When I don't see you for a while, we got to do this. Okay, thank you.
I love it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd like to know. Because I'm very curious, because we've been doing this for a while now. We're coming up to an end of a calendar year. I just want to
I think it was November for that one too. I have to check.
Okay. No, but we've been doing this for a while, and I'm enjoying it now more than ever.
Yeah. We've been doing Primetime for about 2 years now.
Okay. No, that's absolutely that. And actually now it is. Well, iterations of this is now officially the longest continuous show I've done.
Is that right?
Well, it started off really with Aisha, then it was Aisha and Jill, then it was all three of you, and then it's just so from the original beginning, this has been the longest running one I've done, and I'm so happy to be part of it.
I'm happy to be a part of it. I there were girlfriends chat too. There was a girlfriend's chat to put up. I was looking at editing, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to edit it. Everybody needs to hear the whole conversation. It was so good. So I'm going to put that out first thing in the morning. Just type some spins on it. But that was a really good conversation.
Yeah. I'm speaking that next year we take it to another level, and there's some things I'm potentially working on to take it to a better level. It's already great, but I won't.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd rather be dead than bored. So
yeah,
we'll certainly be
chatting. That's a
before.
challenge. So I'm thinking of moving it more to YouTube, a YouTube channel.
What, girlfriend's chat?
Mm-hmm.
I would make that suggestion. And it's funny because, and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden now I'm not they change how you can broadcast live on something, and I can't figure it out. But my suggestion, definitely take it to a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And definitely, and Yeah, we can talk about that in the next few weeks, and I can help you with that because then
I'm actually going to move all the videos over there. I've been slowly
I think that would be great.
Them, but
and then I could also, but I've sent you guys links so you can connect this to your YouTube channels. You haven't done it yet.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. It shows up on mine. Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
everything. Yeah.
Okay, all right. It didn't give me no. So it has been showing up on your channels then.
Yeah, and I get a notification of when you post. Mm-hmm.
Love it. So now I'm actually going to start because in the past I was getting over and going, oh, maybe I did something wrong. But no, if that's the case, that's fantastic. So then when you go to the girlfriend chat, I can also share it with that platform also.
Yeah.
So we can really that's good. So I'll start. There's more I've got to share. So I didn't know if you had done it yet. So fantastic. No, that's 100%. That is yes, YouTube. I know everyone has their TikTok.
Even the shorts.
Oh, I'm gonna start doing that too.
Yeah.
The shorts too. Yeah, I've got a. So for people, the holiday season is coming. People say, "Oh, do you take a break, Dr. Vibe?" No, that's the time where I get a chance to do all this stuff, and there's less distraction, so I can sit down and connect the shorts, all that sort of stuff. So it's all connected up. So that is absolutely fantastic. So, ladies, give me a win that you've had since we last chatted.
I'll go first. I opened my Etsy store.
Yes.
Yay.
So
and I got a really funky fly black Santa Claus sweatshirt on there. He is the best.
You love the holiday season, don't you?
I am a holiday season freak.
Oh, I love it too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My win this week.
You've had a win, Aisha. What's been a win for you?
I'm trying to think. You know what? I got to sleep.
There you go.
I got to sleep late this week.
A win is a win.
Because I was getting up. When my daughter works at 6:00 in the morning, I get up at 4:30.
Wow.
So she didn't have to go to work until 9 this week. So
I was up this morning at 5:30 because on the first Saturday of each month I do a session with, let's say, about 50 guys. I led a session about what Christmas means to them as men, and there's some really emotional and deep stories. One gentleman said it was a year ago since his father passed away, and he said it was around the Christmas season last year, and he said that he was having dinner with him, and the next day his father passed away. And he said, it's going to be challenging for him. His father's not going to be there this Christmas, and just managing the family and emotions because the father's not going to be there with him. But it was powerful. It was really powerful. Actually, you know what? I'll ask. Well, so let the cat. This is Aisha's probably last show for the year, so I'm going to ask her, but I'll ask LaLa later on in the month. Aisha, what's one great gift you're happy for this holiday season or for this Christmas?
Oh, that everybody in my family is healthy.
Okay.
That we've pretty much made it through the year without losing anybody.
Okay. That's good. No, that's good. I asked a lot of them in that, and one first gentleman said his wife.
I love that.
Yeah, and in the world we live in these days, that's not always the first answer you're going to hear, especially from a guy. But he said his wife. Another gentleman said his kids and his grandkids. It was really powerful stuff. Really, really powerful stuff.
Because as crazy as all this was, it was nice last week to just, go to my grandparents' house and, we have to talk about none of this mess. And just, hang out with my grandparents and, my aunts and cousins. And
It's great you're bringing that up, Aisha. And I want to put this out to both of you. Do you notice as we go further in our journey how much we appreciate, relish, and look forward time with our elders?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? I'm right in the throes of that. The stories that and the memories that I get from my mother. I don't call her my mother-in-law. She's my mother to me.
Yes.
Is priceless. And I think that these generations need to understand that these stories are very, very important, not just to hear them. I know a lot of kids think they're just sitting there not listening to anything, but as you get older, you understand just how important these stories are. And it is really important that you record your grandparents and your great uncles and your great aunts. And
Yes.
really let those stories live, because that's what we have now. Just as is important. We all talk about history here. We all talk about politics. This is what the show is about. But passing your family's lineage and their stories down is historically something that African Americans have had to rely on their whole life because of slavery. So the importance of this is priceless.
Yeah.
Well, even more so now because African American history is being wiped out everywhere you look, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things I was very deliberate about doing when my daughter was born, all of her great grandmothers were alive when she was born. All of her great grandmothers and her great great grandfather. So my great great grandfather was alive until I was 30. So when she was born, I made sure there's pictures of her. But by the time she was 2 weeks old, 2.5 weeks old, she had a picture with every last one of them holding her as a newborn baby. And my great pictures of her she was probably about 1 with my great great grandfather before he passed away.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's interesting because my husband, his grandmother lived to be 102.
Whoa.
So when he was born, she was 100. So he had 2 years with her. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
102.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a moment like that this year when my dad celebrated his birthday. I was over at my parents' place and we went downstairs. Now, my dad had a man cave before the word came out, by the way.
I love it.
Yes. Well, LaLa, if either of you ever come to Toronto, it is imperative, God willing, he is still alive with us, that I bring you over there and you will see and listen and sit down to about 50 years of music collecting. Like my dad still has a reel-to-reel recorder in his.
My father has several. Yeah. He actually has reel-to-reels of us talking as kids. Which at the time I didn't understand why he was doing it. My dad used to just turn the reel-to-reel on while we were playing. Me and my sisters and talking to each other. But no, I mean not just the music. He would turn it on to record us.
Oh, yes. Wow. Are those recordings still available?
Yeah. When I went to see my dad back
in
April, he played one for me. He's gotten many. But he played one for me of me and my sisters. And I couldn't have been more than 8. Which meant my sisters were about
how good is that?
5 and 6, yeah. And so we were it was the funniest thing. My youngest sister and I disagreeing as always, like we did growing up, and my sister in the middle trying to mediate everything. And it was the funniest thing to hear our voices as little girls.
Oh my goodness.
I wish I had something like that.
No, he did that, but my father started doing that when I was born. So there is also a reel-to-reel of me just learning how to talk.
How good is that?
Mm-hmm.
How good is Man, if we
Priceless. Like I said,
if our show ended right now, I'd be happy. That like it's been worth it. That's worth 2 weeks just hearing some of this already. It's been worth it. That is
now, of course, I'm also the only one with a baby book, and that just happens to be the stage that I fall in the succession of siblings, being the oldest girl of my two parents. So that's why I have a baby book and my sisters don't. But there are plenty of pictures of them as babies, sort of.
Baby sorta.
Baby sorta. Okay. We could go on forever on this, but it's been 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is like 20 years these days with what's going on in America. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and who knows where we're going to start? Who knows where we're going to end? But we'll get somewhere. So we'll be right back.
Check out The Morning Vibe on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel with Dr. Vibe and Ryan Knight, where they discuss important subjects between themselves or have conversations with people who you need to know about.
All right, we are back on Primetime Saturday, the December 6th, 2025 edition. So let's get to some housekeeping. Girlfriends chat. I have a feeling by next year this is going to change. It's going to be on a third platform. Yeah. So check out those links when you can now, but we'll be on YouTube in the near future. Go to the Primetime Saturday show store. And LaLa, you got to give us your Etsy link too, by the way. When you're ready, there's the link there. Join our Discord group. Please email me at dr.vibe@vibe.com or click on that link. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show and hit the notification button. I've been keeping it quiet, but I do have an announcement to make about the YouTube channel. So I haven't, and this is the platform I'm doing it first, though I've been on other ones since. I officially now have over 2,000 subscribers.
Great. Yay.
Oh, I love it.
And this show is one of the main reasons why. And yeah, so that puts me in the top 10, only 10% of all YouTube channels have 1,000 subscribers. So
I love it.
This show has been instrumental. And then what we got to do is I got to help Girlfriends Chat get to 1,000 subscribers. So if the ladies want my help, I'm going to be in on that too.
Yes.
Baby, them conversations are epic. Get your coffee, get your tea, get your port wine. Those conversations are epic.
Don't steal my subscribers. Okay.
The one we had this week though was real good.
All right.
We almost forget that everybody's there, so get going.
I know. I know. When we said goodbye, it was like, oh yeah, goodbye to you guys.
Oh my gosh, hilarious.
We were saying goodbye to each other.
I'll go back to follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Also, to advertise your business product or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of, please email me dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. And Indie Soup TV, and I know she's in the chat because I saw her. That's Dr. Tachi's posse at the YouTube channel there. 28,000 subscribers. So that's why I just shut my mouth after my measly 2,000. And she's got her 20. They've been around for a long period of time. We don't know, not really 2 years. 28,000 subscribers, independent content creators. I'm actually blessed to provide content on that platform. I've got some more stuff now on that platform. Newer content, let's put that on that platform. And as always, if you've got a question or a take, and Dr. Chachi is one of the few people that does this, go to callme.road.com and use code FSPL8L. Click on that and then go to the next page. Put your name in. Make sure your mic gain is all set up correctly. I have a video for it, so next show you'll see it because I can tell you till you're whatever color in the face, but you got to see it probably. All right. You got to see it. All right. Let's see what else is going on. We got comments like crazy here today. People came on. So, Regina is in the house. Regina, you know what I'd like as a Christmas gift? What do you think I'd like as a Christmas gift from Regina, ladies?
Call in.
Thank you. Good. Good
Pick
time.
up the phone and call
Yeah, you know, you're the president of Dr. Tachi fan club. She calls in. Why not you? Why not you? All right. So you've been missed. We've missed you back. He also says LaLa needs to compare Letitia James' so-called fraud. Well, we'll get to that. To 47's real estate. We're gonna get to that. You're already up to it. You're already on fire. All right. She also says, by the way, Indivisible did take up target to boycott Aisha. They're now saying our primary platform for candidates needs to be included. Quote, we are going full out Nuremberg on this administration. Man, you see that? Regina's already in. We haven't started the conversation. She's in. She also goes, let it froze sweaters are a cool item. Dr. Tachi says, hello all. Hello back to you, Dr. Tachi. You are always welcome to call. And I did send you a DM about the next 2 Saturdays, so I hope you've seen it. Next up, Jen Myers, #1 fan, says, hello, everyone.
Hey,
And
Jen.
somebody call me, and I know why they're trying to do that, and I am busy. Sorry, and I know why you're gonna have to wait. Multi-purposing. Dr. Tachi claps her hands. Okay. Your president of your fan club, Regina, says hello. Okay, relax. I'm not gonna answer it. All right. Regina says, hey, friend. Regina says, my mic is not working. I'm a technical bozo.
So am I sometimes, I
And
promise
she
you.
says, yes, I answer back. So, well, I'm going to take a look at the answer during this conversation. And I think we are good to go after all of that. And let's introduce our first story.
Did the U.S. military really launch a second strike on a suspected drug vessel targeting survivors, and could this be a war crime? Here's what's at stake. On September 2nd, 2025, a U.S. operation in the Caribbean killed 11 suspected traffickers. Reports and videos shown to Congress suggest a second strike hit survivors in the water. This follow-up attack is now under investigation. Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, who led the mission, denies any unlawful orders, while Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faces criticism and calls for impeachment. What's confirmed? 2 strikes happened, and Congress has seen the footage. What's contested? Whether survivors were legal targets and if Hegseth authorized the action. This controversy raises tough questions about military rules and accountability. Watch for new evidence and possible legal action.
So Mr. Hegseth seems to be in a little bit of a challenge. So, so ladies, chat it to us. Pete Hegseth, he's from Signal to killing to war crimes. Where are we starting?
It was a straight up war crime. It was exactly a war crime. That boat was not even coming to America. That news was released today. That boat was not coming to America at all. Hegseth has been itching his balls to kill someone, and that's exactly what he did. And the government allowed him to do it. He had the approval of the orange one. We know that, and he did it. So the question is, are we going to step up and be the true Americans that we should be and call him to task? Because this is a war crime. And this is not just America. This is fucking international. The audacity of him to just decide that that's exactly what he wants to do and did it. Now these people are actually coming after America because of this. People's families who were in that boat are now calling on international justice, and they deserve it.
Well, there's one family that's actually suing the government behind that. But let's be very clear, because there's new reporting that I just got in my email that they also tried to erase the footage of the October 17th, 2025 strike from 2:30 p.m. after they had those 2 survivors that they repatriated. Afterwards, they wanted to erase the footage of them being saved. Now, here's the thing I think we have to be very, very clear on. The buck stops with the president. You cannot be commander in chief.
That's right.
And say that you are over the military. And then when the military acts on commands, because remember, if you're the commander in chief, you set the policy. The policy comes from the top. It doesn't come from the bottom. And them right now trying to act like it came from the middle also isn't going to fly. And if you are the Secretary of Defense, because we don't have a Department of War, that's some bullshit 1980s little boys playing Battleship kind of stuff. Okay, he is basically treating this like he is a 10-year-old boy playing Battleship, and that was what I said on our girlfriend's chat. This is exactly what it's like. But you absolutely cannot sit here and say that, oh well, yeah, I'm Secretary of Defense, but I don't know how that. No, then who is running the military? If the two people at the very top say they don't know what's going on, do we have a rogue military?
There is a reason that every military base, every government office has a picture of the president of the United States that says Commander in Chief. Obama had one. Everybody who's been in that privileged seat of being the president of the United States of America is called the chief. All right. So this falls right up under him. Trump cannot get out from under this, no matter how much he decides that he wants to squirm. And Hegseth is not going to be able to get out of this either. They are completely incompetent. The fact that they are running things on the Signal channel, as well as just getting their own rocks off on what they've always wanted to do. It's nothing but cruelty and the desire of power. This is nothing but, just like Aisha said, you sunk my battleship, because that's what little boys do. They want to play war games. And they're playing with this because this all ties into Project 2025 as well. We done told your asses that. But not only that, this comes into the pompous thought of, I control everything. Look at me. I'm a big boy. Mm-hmm. This is nothing but a power hungry thing that he's probably dreamt about doing all the time. Now, listen, Aisha and I both love serial killers and true crime. This is no different.
Yeah.
They have the power and the means to do it. And that's what they're using it for.
And let's be very clear. That's not even their job. That's not even the job of the military when you're not at war. You know whose job it is to stop those boats carrying drugs, or even stop the boats carrying people? The Coast Guard. That's what we have the Coast Guard for. The Coast Guard, they have the training, the skills, and the resources to stop these boats, confiscate the drugs, and then deliver people to justice. That is literally what their job is. That's literally what their job is. Now, let me tell you something. If they were smart, they're not. The way to there is no other way to get out of this except for Pete Hegseth to say that he has an alcohol problem. Because here's the thing. If you have to be committed for a crime issuing those kinds of orders under the influence, your punishment is not going to be as severe.
I hope not, Aisha. That's bullshit.
No, it shouldn't be. But that's literally how sometimes the law tends to work. But if I was advising on crisis management, I'd be like, you know what? Just this man needs to say that he's got an alcohol problem and resign. Because guess what? That's the only way he's going to be able to save face. You can't save face.
But the problem is they don't give a shit about saving face.
They don't.
They do not give a shit about saving face. They don't care. This is all about them. This is all about hatred, bigotry, and power, and how long they can hold it. They don't care. That's the problem. We think, those of us who are out here who have any kind of emotions or feelings, we think that they may just have emotions about this, and they don't. You cannot make someone care or give a shit about anyone else when all they want is to listen to those voices in their head and show who they believe they are in make-believe land. And nobody's doing anything. That's my problem. And I'm still having a serious problem with the fact that why are we at this point?
Well, here's the thing. And this is, I look at the discussion this way. The next person that runs for president, particularly on the Democratic side, is going to have to say, I'm turning some people over to the Hague.
Will they?
I think they're going to have to.
I hope so.
Think about it. There's because of what you just said about, nobody's doing anything. There's not going to be a viable Democratic presidential candidate in 2028 unless there is not just a promise to do something, but what that something is has to meet it has to meet the threshold of actual punishment and consequences for actions, because we sat for 4 years and were patient for a Merrick Garland type DOJ to do something. They did nothing. And by virtue of them not acting fast enough, this man was qualified to run for president again. Because look, if Merrick Garland had put any, gas in his tank and moved his ass, Trump wouldn't have been able to run for president. He would have been disqualified from being able to run for president. So I don't think that with all of the things, the egregious things that are going on here, even with Kristi Noem deporting people after the judges say, don't let those planes leave. And she's like, I don't care what they said. Go. There's too much unchecked power gone rogue that I don't think anybody coming out of it expecting to be elected is going to be able to say, yeah, that would be bad for the country if we did that. Let's just move on. You're not going to put it this way. There's nothing to go back to because we can't go back. We don't even know what normal looks like at this point. We can't go back. We have to start over again.
Mitch McConnell are doing? When you look back on their history, though, let's be very honest and pull this shit to the carpet. Every time you've got Mitch McConnell, people like, oh no, we don't like Trump, whenever it suits them. Mm-hmm. But now that you have him back in power again, once again, they're kowtowing and kissing the ring.
And throwing stuff in bills that Mitch McConnell did.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to some comments. And I also want to have you ladies share a little bit more on this. So Regina says, it's all the boats they attacked. All are war crimes.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Tachi says, well, isn't it considered war crimes if they're at war? Right. Therefore, this is a straight government sponsored, quote, unaliving, unquote, which is America at war with Venezuela?
No, we're not at war. But here's the other thing. You can't go to international waters and say, or to somebody else's country and say, the airspace over Venezuela is closed.
I thought.
Could you imagine if China had done that to us? The U.S. would freak out.
I'm going, who are you at war with? I didn't know war was declared.
No, but see, that's the whole setup. Remember how they do things. Let's always keep it on the table. They like to throw things out there on the table like it's snake-eyed dice. They do this every time. They test the waters and then they're like, we're at war. Then the next thing you know, we're at war. The next thing you know, we are at war. This is exactly what they want you to believe. This is because there are so many gullible people, a part of this cult, who do not understand how the world even works. They don't even understand our own constitution. They don't even understand how the government is supposed to be set up. All they do is sit back and listen to what this orange one decides he wants to say. And the next thing you know, it's concrete. That is exactly what they're doing so that they can get the backing. Because the backing is not taking the time to actually look up what is really true, what is really legal, and what is really happening in front of our eyes. because that's a major problem. We still have enough of those people who just fall for the okie doke.
Right.
Another
And what LaLa's saying goes to the point that Regina's making in her comment about the Coast Guard not being assigned.
Yeah, I was just going to put that up right now,
because and I understand that and that is also my point. The coast, if they're coming to the U.S., that's the Coast Guard's job. No one knew where they were going to, they weren't even that far from Venezuela. That doesn't mean that we send our military in to the coast of Venezuela and decide to bomb boats.
So another point that was brought up with photos is the people in the boat were there with their hands up. When people are surrendering, the law is you are not to harm them. You are to take them into custody. You are not to harm them in any kind of way. They obviously had their hands up in surrender.
Yeah.
But yet they were ordered to be murdered anyway.
And let's be very, very clear. The fact that they haven't released the tape has allowed for Republicans like Tom Cotton, who should be ashamed of himself for coming out and lying. Because let's be perfectly clear, in that first part of the video that they show us where they bombed the boat, all of us can tell that there was not a boat left for them to turn over. When you bomb a boat, look, you can't have this punk go up on Fox News talk about, yeah, we obliterated the boats. We obliterated the, yeah. And then go over and say, oh no, they just were trying to turn the boat over and put the drugs back. If it was powder cocaine and powder fentanyl, the first strike, it's powder. Powder's not going to stay intact. Powder and fire, those drugs also burn. So things were on fire. But here is, for me, why it gets even worse, is that they're so egregious in bragging about it.
Yes. That's
about it. Particularly yesterday, while all of this is going on, while he's under fire, while the general that he threw under the bus is testifying privately before Congress, while Congress is watching that video, some dumb person from Turning Point USA makes this comment, and then people want to know why we were calling Charlie Kirk vile. His people are vile because this person said they were happy. They wanted to see more of this. And Pete Hegseth responds, "Your wish is our command," and posts video of a boat that they bombed yesterday, while all this other stuff is going on. And then Signalgate 2, this is straight level of arrogance. This is a level of arrogance, and I don't want to hear him say shit else about DEI, because white male entitlement is going to kill this country faster than anything else. You think about where we are right now, and you think about all the horrible things. It is because of white male entitlement. The White House got destroyed because Trump thought he was entitled to do it, even though he doesn't pay for it, because guess what? That ass doesn't pay taxes. But the rest of us paid for it. And guess what? He didn't even pay them. The contractors are saying they haven't gotten paid yet.
Well, with the East Wing, they switched contractors. The original contractor.
They don't get paid either.
And mind you, our tax dollars are there. And the donations that he supposedly got were there. But you know, it's like P. Hegseth, he tried to strip the army out of all of, you know, the diverse people, trying to get rid of all the women, trying to get rid of all the LGBTQ people, trying to get rid of all the people of color. And it's going to be, and who's going to be left?
It's not them.
Him.
All right.
Who else needs to watch his? You know who else needs to watch his steez too? Is Cash Patel.
Well,
I'm just glad that the heat is off of him for a few minutes.
No, he's just glad he has a girlfriend. because it came back when they announced that his girlfriend has Secret Service or FBI, or they're escorting her drunk friends home using the FBI to do that. Okay.
Just to divert for just a second, whenever I look at Kash Patel, especially when he's standing behind the press, does he look like he's on drugs or something? He's like,
yes.
Like I'm going, what? Like,
oh my gosh,
buddy.
I gotta do my impersonation of Kash Patel.
Oh no, don't be like that now. Oh, let me get to some comments here.
So Kash Patel would not get off the plane. Guys, I really need a jacket. I need a jacket. No, I can't have a large. Extra large is too big. I need a women's size medium with the right patch.
Wow.
That's exactly how it went down. I can guarantee you.
This is my girlfriend here.
Yeah, he just seems like I don't know, he's so amped up. Like, I mean, wow. C Nurse K says, seems like the president has his eyes on resources that certain countries have and will do anything to get them.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
oil.
They are despicable. Yeah, says they are despicable. C Nurse K also says, as a Canadian who has been trying to follow U.S. politics, I believe this has something to do with Venezuela's oil. Please correct me if I am wrong.
I don't think you're
it
wrong.
Absolutely does, and it has nothing to do with drugs. Just like the whole thing with South Africa too. Watch that, because that is about the land, and because remember, who owns the majority of the land in South Africa are the people that he's trying to welcome over and do what with their land? Well, probably sell it. I'm trying to figure out what it is about Somalia, why he's attacking Somalia right now too. But
we'll figure it out within this week.
We'll figure it out. But it's always about the land. It's always about the resources.
Well, okay. Are you talking about his comments on Somalians in Minnesota or Somalia over the country Somalia?
It's all connected.
All connected. It always is.
Yes,
because remember, we started sending Venezuelans back. They were one of the first groups that he started trying to send back, and then trying to make a deal with for them to take people. But even before El Salvador, and they were like, no, we're not going to help you. And then this whole Maduro thing. So basically, he is, this is about some other stuff.
Well, okay, and Regina says those blue containers are said to contain fuel, which the boats export to other countries because it's cheap in Venezuela.
Right.
But isn't this all circling back? Deflection from one main story, the man who's dead.
Yeah.
And of course, exactly, like people don't realize it.
Well, it's not even just that. It's that we know that this is all deflection from the Epstein story, and then they keep throwing things to deflect from this story, because that's what this whole the DNC RNC bomber, who I did not expect to be black, by the way. That was a shock, but he's also MAGA, so that wasn't a shock. But they had it. So wait, you had all this evidence and stuff, and you could have made this arrest at any time, but you decided to do it now to take off, to deflect from the thing that is deflecting from the other thing.
I'm just saying, who is the U.S. at war with?
Listen, I sent a picture to Aisha and Jill this weekend, and it's a photo of the ICC at The Hague. And I said, this is where Hegseth, Miller, Kushner, Noem, and Trump will be tried for international war crimes. And literally, to me, I have to hold on to that hope, because none of them need to be running this country. And this is exactly what it is. It is war crimes. And this is not to be taken lightly. This is actually also feeding other countries. In Portugal, there is a group, another political party called what do they call them over there? I drew a blank. But they are absolutely partying themselves and aligning themselves exactly the way MAGA is.
Yeah.
So if you just think, Shinga, it's called Shinga. If you just think that this is an American problem, baby girls and baby boys, I need you to read your history book, because other people are taking these exact plays and they're taking them to their countries.
Well, here's the other
100%.
part of it. Remember, that is also how you ended up with the Axis and Allied powers in World War II, was that you had all these other countries, whether they were authoritarians, fascists, or whatever, taking Hitler's playbook, right?
Yes.
and trying to rule the same way in their spaces. That is why you have Russia aligned with Germany in World War II. That's why things were the way that they were. But here we have a problem now, because all of the people that we are typically aligned with, we're not going to be after this regime. And I hate to say it this way, but honestly, it might require all of our allies, everyone to really just stop doing business with us and dealing with us, period, for us to realize that we got to change, because America can't take care of itself. I think internally somewhere, people in this administration are going to that effect when, what is it? Bonehead, what's his name? Real World guy, Sean Duffy.
Yeah.
We're talking about bringing back auto manufacturing to the point that they're making the gas guzzling wood paneled station wagons again. The ones that only get 10 miles a gallon.
Yes.
Like that. How is that supposed to help people? How is that supposed to help people? Because why is this? Because while we're busy focusing on eugenics in this country and trying to make an indigenous land a white nation, China, Japan, and all these other countries, India, are fixing to become the centers for auto futures.
Yes.
We're over here fighting and struggling about whether or not to use gas, EV, or flex fuel vehicles, when guess what? China already, they had built the infrastructure to do nothing but fully electric vehicles. And these other countries are picking up on that too, while we're too busy lagging behind. And so by the time that we get to the point where we're ready to start making batteries for electric vehicles on a mass level, we're going to be we're 20 years behind. We're
already behind.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
We're already behind.
Regina says there are only 240,000 Somalis in the U.S. The level of racism I have seen toward them is white nationalism on meth.
But there's a deeper reason, and here's the reason why. Watch how they're doing it, right? He picked Somalia. The question you have to ask is, what conversation is he having with the leadership there? Because remember, Stephen Miller has said it once, and if you read Project 2025, they're looking for some place for Black people to go.
Yes.
They're looking for some place to start sending Black people. And I still want to know what happened to those people that they deported in that container to Djibouti.
Oh, boy.
Did they die? Because remember, the temperatures were 120 and they were in a locked container. And no one has reported on what happened. I expect that they're dead, because remember, none of them were from there. There were people from Malaysia. And so for anybody to think that we're going to go back to something, that there's a normal to go back to, there's going to be so much to uncover. It's probably going to take about a whole generation, all 25 years, to uncover all of the corruption and mess that was done just in the first year
That's what
of
I'm
his
just saying.
presidency.
We're only coming up to 1 year in the
Right.
next few weeks.
Right.
Right. And by the way, what documentary is being premiered the day after the first year anniversary of 47 coming back?
Melania's.
Yep.
Oh, God, please. You just made me want to throw up.
Dr. Tachi says economic sanctions are the only
Babe.
thing that will work. This country doesn't understand decency if it's not attached to money. Wei is saying hello. Dr. Tachi says China's EV already surpasses anything we can dream of. Wei says puke MAGA. Also says there is something stirring listening to Aisha. Yeah, well, we'll see if there's something stirring. What?
Keep it cute. Keep it cute, Wait, now you talking about my sister now. Keep it cute.
Let me ask, what do you think is going to happen to Hegseth?
Oh, he'll go down. I think they're going to make him go down. I also think Kash Patel is going to go down, but we're going to see a big fight about it.
Right. I think here, like I said, I think that starting around the springtime, you're going to start to see these people leave. Trump is going to let them have their full 12 months.
Yeah.
Because remember, that was the biggest criticism of him, his first term, was that people were in and out. It was like a revolving door of cabinet members. So I think that Kash Patel is going to resign on his own. Kash Patel he'll resign, but I think he'll be forced to resign. I don't think because you got to remember, Kash Patel has his first girlfriend, and this is a real big deal for him. And so having this job means that homegirl is sticking by his side. Okay, the moment he loses the job, she's gone, and he's alone again without a jacket, a women's size small. And so then,
oh Lord, you didn't go there. You didn't go there.
And then
I love it.
I think, like I said, with Pete Hegseth, I think his thing is going to be there's no way for him to get out of this without admitting to being a drunk. Because people put it this way, people will have sympathy for him because everybody knows somebody that's an alcoholic or has an alcoholic in their family or what have you, so people can understand that. What they can't understand is what's going on now.
I'm sorry, that's a trigger for me.
I understand.
A coward ass out. Just like this girl is never getting justice in Mississippi. So, no, I have no sympathy for that. Not even a little bit.
No, and I don't think anybody should have sympathy. But you got to remember whose sympathy he's trying to get. He's trying to get white people. He's trying to get white people's sympathy because then he's going to make his big comeback, returning to Fox on the weekends. And that's how I see this.
So neither of you think that Patel or Hegseth and when Bengino are going to last the full 4 years?
No. I don't think any one of them will last past April. I think Bongino will go first. Pete Hegseth is the one he's going to hold on the longest because he feels justified in that. And he really likes what's going on there. The only way that he's going to look, the only way to get rid of him will be a deal with the Republicans in the Senate and the House right before the election. Like, you need to get rid of him because this is going to cost you. This is going to cost you. You've got to get rid of him. That is how he gets rid of Hegseth. That's the only way he can get rid of Hegseth, is that he's got to see a poll showing that is going to affect the midterms.
But hold on. But 47 says he's polling better than ever. They're doing
no. Not a poll on him.
Oh,
a poll on
Hegseth.
Does Pete Hegseth, is what's going on with Pete Hegseth make you more likely or less likely to vote Republican in the midterms? Because remember, it's about him maintaining control. Because guess what? The only way he's able to get away with all of this stuff is because he has control over Congress. Remember, we've got 3 branches of government, and 2 of them have largely been neutered under Donald Trump. Yeah. So he can't afford to lose control of one. And if he loses control of the legislative body, That's the body that can hold him accountable and hold his administration accountable, because they can actually do things like impeachment of his cabinet members.
In LaLa's happy unicorn world, because sometimes she likes to go to the cotton candy land, is that all these people that we have always talked about before, and that we know that they are there. There are many supporters of this administration that don't speak out, that don't participate in the polls, who keep their secret hatred to themselves. In LaLa's magical world, these people are not happy. And we're not hearing from them because that's what they do. They do not speak out loud. The polls will show what it's going to look like. And I think an early indicator of that is what we are actually seeing right now with all these elections that are being overturned, or like in Tennessee, it was so close, baby, you could breathe. A feather would have tossed over that one. I think we are seeing early indicators of that, because it's the people who are not speaking, the people who are not online talking, the people who are not being polled, that did support at one time this, that are fed up with this because now it is affecting their lives. It is my dream that those people will make the difference.
Right. And you know, it's funny that you mentioned the thing about Tennessee. I hadn't realized that they had gerrymandered it.
Yes.
The way that they did. Because remember, when I went to Fisk, I was living in Nashville, and right, that blue dot right there had a blue congressman, had a Democrat congressman, and in thinking about that this week and how they did that, Trump knows that his that's why there was such a mad dash to get as much done and to do as much harm and as much damage in the first 12 months, because I have a feeling that he knew some of the members of the Republican caucus in both chambers weren't going to last to even the midterms, given age and things like Chuck Grassley. I can't believe he's running again. This is insane. He's literally trying to die in office. There's and then you've got people like Nancy Mace, who says that she might resign. But again, let me remind you, does it matter? She's not doing a job anyway. Mike Johnson's not letting them work, and Nancy's running for governor of South Carolina, so she's not even trying to be in the House. So whether she leaves in February or whether she leaves in December of next year, she's leaving. I think what he's concerned, but he doesn't. I don't think that he sees, because they have him in such an echo chamber, right? I don't think that he sees what is being seen by the Republicans in Congress, and that is that they're frustrated, they're tired, they want out, and that their majority is it is literally a matter of one vote right now. One vote. That is it. That one vote. And so, look, we could, if there is a special election come early next year, we could be having a Speaker Jeffries in March. But here's the thing: the truth of the matter is that right now we should, because how do we know this? Well, Texas has an open seat in Congress in the map that's drawn now, and they are refusing. Abbott is refusing to do an entire special election for that one, because he wants to wait it out until they get to use the newly gerrymandered map that seat wouldn't exist.
Basically,
Sheila Jackson Lee died last year, and the guy that replaced her died the night of the State of the Union this year, right after he got sworn in. He died a few days later. So they've been without it. And guess what? You know what? I'm just going to say this. The 750,000 to 800,000 people who live in that district, I think you ought to sue the federal government and the state of Texas for taxation without representation and get your money. Because for a whole year, you all have been paying a whole year, your state and local taxes and your federal taxes. is coming out and you're paying for it and you don't have representation.
All right.
You
Regina
don't have a
says
vote in Congress.
his first girlfriend, LOL. Wade says, LaLa, I don't troll y'all, sis. And he also says, and he has laugh emojis for LaLa. And also, Senior's Case says, seems like the decorated general is being thrown under the bus. And if Hegseth is charged, he will be, quote, he will be pardoned by, quote, you know who.
And that's why he needs to go to the Hague, because he can't be the Hague, there's no pardon. That's an international thing. And you know what? The general, here's the thing. You feel bad for the general until you realize we now know why he was so mad last week and week before about the video from the members of Congress, because they gave illegal orders.
Yes.
And this general, you don't get to be in that leadership of the military and not know that you don't follow an illegal order too.
Now, just a question. Wasn't there a general who resigned?
Yes. The black man. He said, you are not putting this on me. I am not about it.
I'm not doing it.
There you go. There you go.
Look, now Pete Hegseth they tried to put out, that he was forced to resign.
Forced out.
But guess what? He was forced out. But guess what? What questions was he asking that was making you mad?
There you go.
What was he asking that was making you mad enough that you didn't want him
I would
there?
love to have a conversation with that gentleman.
He's even more highly decorated than this general.
Yes.
And he was like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Well, Way says, well, if he's been appointed by 47, that's a red flag in itself. I can't
argue with you there.
Oh, gosh. So before we move on to the next conversation topic, will anyone be gone before the end of the year?
No.
I don't think so. No. They'll string this out just like they do everything else.
No, because we saw what happened. He really struggled with the Mike Walls thing. And so he had to give him another job, right? He made him an ambassador. And remember, Mike Walls he got rid of Mike Walls because the Signalgate thing was such a big, hot mess. But he wants to take pressure off Pete Hegseth. So Mike Walls got thrown under the bus. This is the second time. And then Signalgate came back because there was the Inspector General's report came down too. So, like I said, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump might fix your mistake once. He's not going to fix it repeatedly when he's got Epstein to deal with himself. He can't have your baggage.
All right.
He will fire. Look, I put it this way: he will fire him if something else comes out, falls out. Because guess what? He's got to throw somebody under the bus. Yeah, and he's gonna say, "Well,
47 is all about self-preservation. It's all about self-preservation, right?" And ladies, you were so right at the beginning. This point's at 47 because it's 47 that picked him. And I was listening to something today. With his nomination, there was one senator. His last vote pushed it over the top. I don't remember the guy's name, but this commentator is saying people need to go after that one senator who was holding out till the end. Because
I agree.
With his vote, it tied.
I thought that was for RFK because that was the doctor for Pete Hegseth. It was Jody Ernst. She was the one holdout.
People were saying that person. People, if they're upset,
she was the one holdout. But here's the other thing: she should know better because she was in the military, so that's why she was the holdout. But here's the thing: I don't want to hear a thing from any one of them saying, "Oh, well, we're guess what? You all knew he was bad. None of you wanted him, but you voted for him anyway. And so this is also your responsibility. Just like all the stuff going on with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino, all that is also their responsibility. Because guess what? Let's not forget, y'all were rarely set up to vote for Matt Gaetz. And you couldn't do that. So you told him that you had to do some. I don't understand how you saw a difference and saw some daylight between drunk ass Matt Gaetz and drunk ass Pete Hegseth. I don't see how you saw the daylight between them because, as far as I'm concerned, they're two sides of the same slimy coin.
Oh boy. Well, it's yeah. But we'll see if anything happens before the end of the year. But
here's the other part too. Doesn't Pete Hegseth have DUIs? How did he get past?
Yes, he
How
does.
did he get clearance?
but we'll continue this on for the next show because it's so much. It's so much. Where it says that's his trademark. Old felon 47. Hey, all right. Let's get ready for our next conversation piece, and we're gonna start it with a quick video. So we'll be back in a few seconds. Let's do this.
There is no indictment for Letitia James. Grand jury rejects mortgage fraud case on second review.
And this just continues. Why? I feel like I should just get up and come back in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No indictment for Letitia James. Grand jury rejects mortgage fraud case on second review. What say you, ladies?
There was nothing there to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
This was nothing but a magic show. They knew that when they put it up there, and the judge even said so. They basically said, how dare you even waste our time? But you see, this also goes into absolutely everybody who wants to bow down and kiss the ring. Let's talk about Bill Pulte.
Oh,
Bill
no.
Pulte.
You've been waiting for 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Bill Pulte has been, he wants to be Trump's right hand ring so bad. He wants some people to just kiss his ring as well. But there is also a lot of shenanigans around Bill Pulte and what he has done in his career before he was even in the administration. Pulte has a bad rap all around him just from his home.
Can you tell our audience who that person is? Because a lot of people probably have never heard about him.
Bill Pulte is his family owns Pulte Homes. They build a lot of brand new homes for people. They're new builders, new developers. On the list of developers, they hang low because a lot of the times, a lot of their homes are not built with quality or any kind of insulation or anything that you need. A lot of people are not happy with Pulte Homes, but there's always been an out for them, just as much as there's been an out for Trump. Now think about it. Trump was in real estate for a very long time and got away with a lot of crimes and got away with a lot of government money. So why wouldn't you want to align with someone else who is in the home building business? So Bill Pulte was assigned to FHFA. That's a housing part. It's a different part. It's not HUD. It's a different part of housing for America. And he's over a lot of things. One of the things that he got his position for is Trump knew that he had his support and he knew that Pulte would do anything that he wanted him to do. So what does Pulte do? He is the one who pulled the information and pulled the trigger to give to Trump to say that Letitia did things illegal. Therefore, that's how this whole investigation got started, just because Trump didn't like her and because she has cojones to go after him because she doesn't care. If you've done something illegal, she's going to call your ass out on it. And that man hates her because of that. And not only that, he hates her because of that. He hates her because she is a strong Black woman. Pulte fell right into line. Not only did he go after Letitia, he also went after Stilwell. And he also went after other people in Congress that are political opponents and enemies of Trump. All they did was to completely point fingers at those who were his enemies. This is illegal. This is not how you are supposed to run our government. We know that, but we say that every week. But yet, here we are. But now people are still turning around now and looking at Pulte and going, wait a minute, hold up. Investigations are now being called to look into Pulte and his actions on what he has done to see if he needs to even be called to task and to carpet for his part of this full shenanigans that is going on. So we are exactly seeing the people who were standing and cheering at the inauguration and those who donated it for this ballroom and everything else getting rewarded with putting you here and putting you there. But wait a minute, we still need you to wash this crooked little decrepit hand that nobody's supposed to see that's orange. And as long as you do that, you're safe. So this is not going to go away. This is nothing but another magic carpet ride that they have come up with. But what they have done is, now that they've opened up other people's eyes, and now that they've had to dismiss these cases, they are now being vulnerable for what they have done for this too. There are going to be other people that are coming back to get their just due. This was all unjustified. This was a complete waste of taxpayers' money and time. But what isn't under this administration? Bill Pulte needs to be put into that crowd that needs to be checked at The Hague, if you ask me too, because I know that there's some more dirt there that we don't know about.
And, Trump's being very deliberate in terms of going after his enemies and the charges that they're going after. He is literally going after them for the charges that they got under him, right? So Letitia James, he had somebody looking for a fraud charge. Why? Because she basically got him convicted of fraud. And that irritates him more than anything else, because it goes along with the whole thing, the notion of him not being a real businessman, right? A real real estate tycoon, a real wealthy person, that he was a fraud. And it irked him more than anything because, truth be told, he knows he's a fraud.
He knows it.
At least up until he started getting rich this year on the presidency. But he knew he was a fraud. And so the fact that the fact that they're going after Pulte, here's why, and let's be very clear why they're going after Pulte now. Because if he could pull that information up on Tish James, they all know on the Republican side, particularly in the legislature, I know it was them that came to him. The people that work in his cabinet, all the wealthy people in his cabinet came to him and been like, wait a second, something has to be done, because it's not just her stuff that he can get a hold of. Because remember, if it only takes one thing for people to say, oh wait, he looked into her stuff. So who else's stuff was he looking into? Who else?
But that also goes back to Doge. It all goes back to Doge and what Musk was allowed to do. Musk was not, the whole intention was never, ever, ever to see what they could cut. It was to go there and dismantle and to steal everyone's information. How do you think that he got all this information? How do you really, truly think that he got all this information? And don't forget, what he accused Letitia and Stilwell on, there are many people within Trump's cabinet themselves that actually have the same thing.
Yep. Not just in his cabinet, in Congress. Who is it? There was somebody in Congress that said, who is it in his cabinet? Bissent? It's Bissent. But here's the thing, when it comes down to it, guess who else? Guess who else did the same thing?
He did.
Donald Trump himself.
Yes, he was accused of the same thing. That's right.
Donald Trump
a
himself.
long time ago. Yes.
Because that is, look, that's one of the charges that's one of the charges from Tish James.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Dr. Tachi says exactly, pure theater. Way says felon 47 sister was a federal judge. He knows the ropes. So do Letitia James. This playout will be interesting.
I have to disagree. He doesn't know the ropes because his sister was a federal judge, because he didn't pay any attention to that. Donald Trump only knows the ropes because he's been so litigious and in court so much behind him. All he does is sue.
And Wade says, much respect to your panel, Dr. Vibe. Well, thank you very much. They're smarter than me. And also the entire cabinet is tainted, Aisha. So there's two things I want to bring up related to this. First of all, was listening to a commentator today, and he's been watching American politics for a long time. He said he has never seen a cabinet that is so unqualified.
Yeah.
To do.
I have, but I have seen one that was that could have been, not completely, his first cabinet. But remember, he had some people there. Remember, he had other. This. Remember, he not had like other this. People, but not like this.
This one tops. This one, he said, never end. He said, they asked him, what word would you describe his cabinet? Grifters.
Incompetent.
He's not wrong.
No, he isn't.
Incompetent grifters too. Because here's the other part of it. Because if they can fuck something up, they do. It's like, if you're gonna grift, do it. Can you do it right? Can you do it right? I mean, because that's the other part about it, right? Is that if they're going to do this, don't make stupid mistakes.
Like,
if you're set on doing wrong, at least do the wrong thing the right way. And I know that makes no sense.
But other names, Elena Haba.
Oh, you mean, look, you mean the Kim Kardashian that did actually go to law school?
Well, there's actually an alleged story of 47. I don't know if it was last year. And he was, he said that basically, I don't have the greatest lawyers, but I have the hottest looking lawyers.
Yeah. You might as well hire Kim Kardashian. She's trying to be a lawyer.
But the Lindsay lady who took this one to court, not qualified, has no experience. Why? Like,
because he depends on garbage. He only gives a shit about those who really will bow down to him. If you listen to what Kristi Noem said to him in one of the cabinet meetings, talking about he had done something and saved thousands of people's lives just because you weren't there. Like, it was like this whole thing of, girl, what you talking about? All she was doing, I don't even know what the subject was. That's what they do. You have saved millions of people's lives just because
LaLa,
you are you.
But notice that he's very picky about who he lets. Listen, he's very picky about who he lets be seen too in his cabinet. He wants people with the certain look. He is not going to let people call his press secretary ugly like they did Sarah Sanders. That's why he has Caroline Leavitt the way that he does. But I promise you, there are two people that I promise you rarely ever see, and you never see standing next to him. It's Linda McMahon, because she's old and ugly, and it's his chief of staff, because she's old and ugly.
Yes.
But you never see him photographed with them.
What's her name again?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? We're all sitting here struggling about what's her name, because they're all so unforgettable. They're so unqualified that you don't even bother to listen to their names anymore. They're nothing but puppets. It's the Stepford wife thing that he does every time. If you ugly, you don't fit. If you this, you don't fit. If
you get Mar-a-Lago face, fit.
You are beautiful.
Susie Wiles.
That's his chief.
Susie Wiles. But yeah, because if you look at it, a lot of the women in Trump's cabinet are close to search. They all look the same.
They all go to the same surgeon.
the same surgeon, the same hairdresser, and the same makeup artist.
Oh my gosh. So
I think it's a requirement. I think they literally took Stephen King's book, The Stepford Wife, literal.
Well, okay. Same thing with since we've been on Comey too. They said Comey, they turned that back too.
But see, here's the thing. They tried to re-indict Letitia James. They tried to indict her twice. So the re-indictment came back very quick. Now today, they said that they're going to try a third time.
Oh, wow.
So what does that tell you?
This is going to end up like the Benghazi hearings. Remember how many times they did that? They talked to Hillary Clinton, and it's also going to be like Obamacare. How many times they tried to repeal that? 77. So they keep. It's like, ugh.
The distraction keeps on going strong
at the cost of the American people. It really boggles my mind that we outnumber them. And the fact that we are still here confuses the hell out of me. We have more power than we admit to. And if we would just get on one accord, this would not be happening. So I too also blame the American people who sit back on their asses and don't do anything, that does not choose to do anything other than sit back and say, woe is me, because we are the ones who do have the power. And it's not just the voting booth. Listen, I'm proud of all these people that go out and stand up for other fellow Americans when ICE is chasing them down in the streets, when ICE is throwing tear gas at our congresswomen. I applaud people for doing that. If we had more people like that, we wouldn't be here where we are. So I'm sorry, I'm calling it like I see it. The American people are also holding responsibility for what we are experiencing because they will not stand up and do something.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I also think though that there is a little bit of a thaw that's coming out because, and I think it's going to be Trump's own doing, because that I think is the thing that is going to get American people moving. We're approaching a holiday season. Things are more expensive than before. And you had a president sitting here saying that affordability is a hoax. And he is about to go on people saying he wasn't doing rallies. He's about to start doing rallies again. And the goal of his rallies is to tout that affordability is a hoax. I think for the first time, he might actually not feel good. I think he'll only do one and that'll be it, because I think that he'll say that. He'll start talking about how prices are lower. And that's the one thing that you can't get people to agree with. People know what they pay. He doesn't know what people pay because this man has never had to do his own grocery shopping.
Not once.
He's never had to buy anything himself. All he does is say, I want this, and tell somebody to go get it, and it comes to him. And that's all he knows. He doesn't know how high things are or what costs what. He doesn't even know what average people make in terms of money, right? He doesn't know what people have to budget with. He doesn't even know what an average apartment costs and what a first year salary is for somebody just out of college. So he's going to go and he's going to say all these things, right? And people are coming to his shows after having shopped, after having just bought gas to drive there, after having to pay for parking and all of that, and be like, but wait a second. No, that's not true. Also, to this MAGA hat that you're trying to sell me at this rally is $15 more this time than it was this time last year. And you're trying to tell me that prices have gone down? Even your own merchandise hasn't gone down.
Baby, even his own merchandise, people complain about them watches are falling apart. And what about all these Trump phones he's promising? Now they're selling used and refurbished iPhones.
But here's what I want to know. How can he say to people that, these foreign countries pay the tariffs when, dude, you sell merchandise from China? You know you pay the tariffs. You know your company pays the tariffs. Or are you not paying?
There you go, Aisha. I mean, when has he ever Yo, when is he ever? He's never paid for his crimes himself. He's never paid for anything, any of the garbage and the trash that he's put out, universities and schools and casinos falling apart. He's never paid anything at all. Yet how the hell America glorifies him is one thing that I will cease to never be amazed at. He's a pure con man from the very beginning.
You know what? I would say this, right? Because I've been saying this in my head. I didn't want to say it out loud because I don't want to speak anything into existence. But I think he already did it. I'm like, his rhetoric is going to get somebody killed. He's going to get somebody killed. But he already did.
He already did.
The MAGA people just don't realize it was one of their people that he got killed. His rhetoric got Charlie Kirk killed. Charlie Kirk saw that.
The man that was killed on that fake assassination. Don't forget about that. Nobody ever talks about that man that was murdered at that fake assassination attempt.
Nobody talks about that. People.
How come we've never heard the full story behind that? I'm just wondering.
It's fake.
You know what? Let me tell you something. They spent more time talking. Pam Bondi really had a lot of nerve this week to sit here and say the Biden administration did nothing for 4 years, blah 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 blah, behind this, and we got this, and we were in here this time. Yeah, but you've been in there also a year, and you've done nothing on the assassination attempts of your boy. I mean, Kash Patel, wasn't Charlie Kirk supposedly your best friend? Why aren't you pushing about more and releasing more information about that? Why haven't anybody heard from his parents? I mean, let's be perfectly honest. You can't come out here and say, oh, nobody did anything on this person that planted the bombs and all this time when you aren't doing anything on the things that you say matter to you.
Dr. Tachi says his base glorifies him for two reasons: because they hate, quote, others, unquote, more than they hate him, and the poor ones think that align with him gives them proximity to wealth. So before we move on, so Letitia James, is the saga going to continue?
Oh yeah, he's going to keep trying. And what I think is that this next one won't be indicting her for mortgage fraud. They're going to try and find something else.
Nope.
Yeah, because
he literally, the point is to tar and feather her.
Okay. Way says here in the USA, they spin, spin, spin. You can get dizzy. That's a good take. Spin, spin, spin. You can get dizzy. All right. We're going to go to our last conversation piece, and we'll do a quick intro to it right now.
Courts. Our next story is the U.S. Supreme Court to decide whether Trump's birthright citizenship order violates Constitution.
Oh boy.
I mean, that one is going to be clear because the Constitution literally uses those words. So I really want to see how his side tries to defend that.
I want to see how he's going to plan on defending Melania and Barron and all these other people. If that's the case,
all
they
his
don't
kids,
belong here
all
either.
his kids but Tiffany.
Yeah, but they don't belong here either.
So LaLa,
because remember his birthright citizenship, he wants to take it from he wants to take it from, even if you were born here and you have one parent that is a citizen but another parent that's not. It's like you can't have any parents that weren't born here.
Okay, bye.
But he needs to go too, because remember his mother.
That's what I said. Okay, bye.
And that's the part that kills me when he starts talking about Somalia. We don't want him in our country. Guess what? My ancestors go back here way longer than yours. I don't want you in my country. Go.
What do you feel the Supreme Court's going to rule on this about the birthright?
Well,
the fact that they're even listening to it in the fact has me extremely concerned, because many lower courts have thrown this out. And the fact that they are opening it up to listen to it, we already know that they've been bought and purchased. We know that they are corrupt. I am not surprised at anything that is happening right now. I am really worried about this.
It's a matter, well, the court, it's actually evenly split, and the decider will be John Roberts. And it's evenly split because Amy Coney Barrett, remember, has a daughter that would fall under that. So she's going to be on the side with the liberals because she's an adopted daughter from one of the African countries. So she's going to fall on that side.
Don't guarantee that. Don't guarantee that.
Yeah, either that or recuse herself. There's really two options there. But she had already gave an indication of this as something that she spoke at, and somebody asked her about that, and she said that she'd have to really seriously be, because that affects her child, it affects her family.
Oh, gee.
Right, and see, like I said, it goes back to people voting on things that affect them. I think John Roberts would end up being. I don't trust Gorsuch. I don't trust
Uncle Tom.
Him, Kavanaugh, or whoever the other one is, Alito. And I think that John Roberts would be the tie. However, I don't know how many of them have parents that are immigrants. That also changes it, because it would also change their standing as well. And so that's one of those things where it's like,
you gonna vote against yourself?
Exactly. But the reason, and here's the thing, that's the reason why he's going through the court and not through Congress on this, because Congress wouldn't. There's no way. Congress would never vote for that, because it affects too many people in Congress.
Oh, gee.
Right. And so, but let's be very clear. If he does that and he's against that, so Elon Musk can go home, Peter Thiel can go home. Actually, all his rich friends that had been giving him money will be affected by this too. So keep that in mind. Don't be surprised if he starts getting some phone calls from the people that he really cares about. You got to remember that too. Remember, he's got a lot of wealthy people in his pocket that are not from here, but are here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it seems like only they can seem to get, they have to give him things, but they don't mind doing it, apparently. So only they can seem to get what they want from him. Like Netflix and their Warner Brothers deal.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. That's a whole other conversation. Aisha, also you had mentioned in our back chat about the gerrymandering and the Supreme Court allowing it for Texas. What your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the gerrymander, they allowed it. They allowed that for Texas. So Texas they allowed for Texas to have a racially gerrymandered map. Good luck with that, Republicans, because guess what? You had Maryland sitting and waiting. Massachusetts was sitting and waiting. New York was they have to wait. But guess what? Once they do it, theirs will be permanent. Michigan, Minnesota, and there's one other state. I can't remember what it was. But now you've basically, you had that one state. Remember, Indiana said no, they weren't going to gerrymander for you, and Kansas said they weren't going to gerrymander for you.
Indiana now is talking about it though. Now
they're talking about it, but guess what? They won't have the votes, because remember, they have to pass that. That one state senator, he said he's got 5 with him that are ready to vote against it. And look, and the only reason that he's got that is because he used the R word, and that man has a Down syndrome daughter. Trump used the R word.
Yes.
Yeah, he was furious.
And that's why he was like, myself and about 5 other state senators were not voting for it, because we can't.
We'll see when push comes to shove, because these days what a politician says in 1 minute.
You know what, though? I have to say this, though. Yes and no. Because what I'm seeing and what I'm learning a lot as I spend more time and as we get more into this man's craziness is that the federally elected representatives are really, really bad. But the state ones in states, and I'm not talking about states like Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. We expect those to be how they've always been. But some of these other states, I'm seeing where they're kind of like, we can't survive this.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, if the federal government when the federal government does not meet its obligations, the state has to bear the weight of it. And a lot of these states just got through with dealing with the weight of this stuff after this shutdown. They had to cover a lot of stuff behind that. And I don't think that a lot of them are ready to go through that again, especially when they're looking at having to do this again in a few weeks. And I think that in national races, he's not losing people, but in state races, it's easier for people to kind of buck the system because he doesn't necessarily know who they are unless they're national. Like, I promise you, he knows none of them.
LaLa doesn't sound like she's buying it.
I don't trust anything anymore. I really don't. There's just too many backroom deals going on right now, and yet you still get little bursts of positive energy, like I said, we talked about the elections and things being turned over, but we are living in so many uncertain times that I just can't. My heart can't take what I would like to see, and really believing that that we're going to get it done. I'm concerned about our country. I'm way more concerned than the word concerned about our country. I honestly, and I've said it before, I feel like we are burning down to complete ash, and it takes a while before that phoenix to rise again.
Yeah. And see, I think for me, I'm concerned about the country, but I'm not concerned about my state. And see, and I think that's the reason and the reason why is because I pay attention to our state government and how they've been moving and how they've maneuvered and how our governor has really maneuvered through all of this. I know that, yeah, Trump can make things harder. He's going to make things hard, right? With an assist from Linda McMahon, who is from Connecticut, right? He's going to make things harder. But I saw how our state legislature is moving to how they're moving to insulate things and make sure that the people are okay, like where they're moving money to. They worked very hard to give us a little bit of a nest egg so that they could take care of these things when the SNAP stuff came down. So I'm encouraged that way. I see that like New Jersey is going to be, I think New Jersey is going to be okay now that they've got a new governor, and then they've gained some seats in their state house. So as I see those things, there are states that I think are going to be good, like Maryland. I think Maryland will be fine, but I do see why Wes Moore wanted to wait to see about the gerrymander, because just to see where his state fell after this past election. Now he knows he has the actual backing to do it, because before he might not have had enough votes to get it done. He knows he does now.
Okay.
And so I think on a state level now, that said, if I lived in South Carolina still with Nancy Mace running for governor, and the way things are, I'm like, I would be terrified. I would be petrified. Like even my last visit to South Carolina, when I went to Myrtle Beach for my birthday, I enjoyed myself, but I wasn't as easy, I think, as I would have been another time.
So let's loop it right back around to where we started. What do you feel should be done with the Supreme Court going forward as an institution?
They're compromised. They're completely compromised. And I don't even know where to begin with that, Dr. Vibe. Because, you always hear we need to stack the courts. We need to do this. Listen, stacking the court doesn't make it right. We shouldn't be here. The Supreme Court should be autonomous in itself, with really being concerned about our country and not actually bending down to kiss the ring. So I don't know what to tell you on that. I don't have an answer for you, just like I don't have an answer for what's going on in my country right now, other than we're lost and we are actually just blowing in the damn wind. I would love to see people stand up and get their balls again and really care about our country, but I'm not seeing that at all.
Aisha, what should be the future of the Supreme Court as an institution?
We need term limits.
Okay. All right. We will leave it at that.
Yeah, we need term limits.
Ladies, epic conversation. Epic conversation. And family, this is probably Aisha's last show for the year. She's taking some time off to deal with some health stuff, but she's going to come back bigger and stronger in the new year. Aisha, any final words you have for the family and for 2025?
It has felt like 5 years in 10 minutes. It went by so fast, but at the same time, it just felt like it dragged on and on and on. It was never ending. So that is what I have to say on that part of it. But I'm looking forward to next year, because I'm hoping we can get it right. Next November. There's still groups I don't trust that will ever get it right, but I'm at least hoping that that we can do something, at least to get those 90 million people that didn't show up to do something. Because honestly, voting really is the bare minimum. It really is the bare minimum.
Yeah. You hit
also,
that right on the head, Aisha. Yeah, that's the bare minimum.
I wish we lived in a country that made it easier for people. Not everybody has the transportation. Not everybody has the time to do it. If they can figure out a way for me to get in my bank account using my individual fingerprint, because it's not going to be like anybody else's, why can't I vote using my fingerprint?
Good take. All right. As always, ladies, thank you for giving the most valuable thing your time to hang out with us today. And first things first, contact information from the key.
You can find me all under one website, that is laurykey.net. I have a lot of free resources there for you. I also have a new Etsy store that I'll be uploading on that site as well. Listen, lots of great digital products there to help you kind of get a little side hustle going, to save up a little extra money in these hard times. And then also some fun stuff like my Soul Santa Claus. You know you want Soul Santa. You know you want Soul Santa. So make sure that you go to my website, and if you want to go there before I put that there, all you have to do is go to the Etsy store called Living the LaLa Life.
Thank you, Aisha Key.
Okay, those are all of my things. But if you want to contact me between now and the start of the year, probably on Blue Sky at akstaggers.bsky.social. But I'm really going to try as much as possible to just watch dog videos and recover.
Wonderful. We're wishing a great recovery, and thank you for another wonderful year. All right, we are there. Let me just see. I had two more comments. Regina says the 90 million will show up. Why? Affordability. Good take. Okay. All right. And Way says Heed, Felon 47, hate the joint, and why he'll never be there. Get ready for another attempt, January 6th. I wouldn't put it by that not happening again. Of that happening again, I wouldn't doubt it. All right. If you want to get a hold of me, Best way is taplink.cc/the_drvibeshow.com if you want to get hold of me. All right. So Aisha will not be with us for the rest of you, but we have someone already coming in, but I'm not going to tell you who, but people should be able to guess. We're going to have someone with us at least for the next 2 Saturdays. Probably the last Saturday of the year we won't be broadcasting, probably, but the next 2 we are good to go. So as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider, love, faith, and respect. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. And also, make it better. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith. Walk good and keep safe. Take care.
To understand how afraid I am of any member of the rodent family that's down to squirrels and chipmunks. Okay? I cannot stand all members of the rodent family. Rabbits, bunnies, no. What else is going on that day? I mean, is there something we're supposed to be doing?
Why are you going there? Why are you going there? You know I'm going to ask you. It falls the same day as the inauguration of the new president.
The what? Excuse me? I'm sorry.
So in other words, Monday.
So onesies. Now, folks, don't ever think you're going to see us all on a show with onesies on. Don't do that.
You might see me. You might see me.
You'll see me and LaLa because we oftentimes wear ours.